In today's video, I'm going to tell you the fastest way to become magnetic and to get well paid, right? You ready for this? Let's get straight into it. So yesterday I was on a networking call with a community that I'm part of, and there was just a small group, but it was really interesting because everyone went around and introducing themselves. And one of the things that they all struggled with was around what it is that they actually do. Now, you might be able to relate to this and you might be thinking, yes, I'm always struggling to think about, how do I articulate my transformation? How do I talk about what I do in a way that makes someone go, oh, that's for me. I'm so excited about that. And I really want to work with this person. And they were all struggling. And what I found was that as I was listening to them and tuning into what they were saying, I could hear the doubt, the lack of self-trust. But what was really coming to me, and probably based because on the fact that I also struggled with this for a very long time, is that really what happens is we get so into our heads, right? We get into our heads, we're overcomplicating, we're overthinking, and we make it be a lot more difficult than it needs to be. And the reason why I'm talking about how what I'm going to share with you is going to make you incredibly magnetic and get well paid is because what I'm going to suggest to you is going to be super counterintuitive. You're going to be like, no, Yasmin, that it can't be that easy because we've been trained to think that it is hard, it is difficult, and we've got to plow through this, and it's going to feel like wading through really sticky treacle. And actually, what I'm going to say to you, and this is kind of the conversation that I've had with myself, right? And so, kind of a little bit behind the scenes of what goes on for me. Here's what I want you to know, right? When you're thinking about what you do in your business, right? And you're getting bombarded with all of these messages about what you need to include and how you need to phrase it, etc. What I want you to do is really bring it back down to the thing that comes really easily to you, right? It is so easy that you could do it with your eyes closed, right? When I get on my client calls, whether it's through my premium client accelerator, or whether it's my one-to-one, or whether it's my freedom frequency, when I'm creating content and actually working with my clients and being in those scenarios, it is like the easiest thing in the world. I literally feel like I can rock up, be fully me, and it is more than enough, right? And I think that this is where it really stems from, because you're sitting there thinking, Yasmin, is it really that simple? Like, do I just like focus in on what I'm really good at? There's lots of things I'm really good at. Oh my God, Yasmin. Oh, how do I pick which one? Right. I know, I've been there too. But when you think about what you're so good at, right? The thing that comes naturally to you. Actually, let me take this opportunity to kind of give you a little lesson in the way that I do this with my clients, right? When you're thinking about what the sweet spot of your business is, there's 4 questions that I want you to think about, and I'll pop these down in the link in the description below as well. So you've got these and you can journal on them and you can refer back to them, right? There's 4 questions that you need to ask yourself in order to find that sweet spot of your business, the thing that you're meant to be doing, right? First of all, what are you really good at? When I started my business back in 2012, right, I'd worked in corporate for 12 years in HR, in training, in coaching, in leadership development. And you know what I did? I shut the door on all of that. Like, honest to God, what was I thinking? All that experience, all that knowledge, it was as if that didn't really exist. And it felt like I was starting with a blank slate. I still wasn't, but that's kind of the attitude that I took, right? So I completely forgot and ignored what I'm really good at. So, first question is, what are you really good at? The second question is, what do you really enjoy? What do you really feel passionate about? Like, what is it that you just kind of think, oh my God, if I could talk about this all day long, I would, right? That's the second question. So what are you really good at? What do you really enjoy? What are you really passionate about? Now, the next two questions are super important. Please do not discount these because this is going to be the thing that makes or breaks your business, right? Whether you get clients or you don't get clients, whether you attract cash consistently or you don't. This is going to be really important. When you think about what it is that you do and what you want to offer to the world, right? Is there a market need for it? Are people out there looking for it? So if somebody says to me, nobody's doing this is brand new, it's so innovative, I have to be honest with you, I do get some red flags because I think if there's nobody doing it, does that mean that there is no market? If there are people in your space doing what it is that you want to do, then that is a good sign. This is not a sign where you say, well, I've got all of these people who are doing it. That's not the sign that you're looking for, right? If there are people in your space and they are doing well, then you're going to go, great, there is a market out there, right? So that's the third question. The fourth question is, are people willing to pay for it? Are people willing to pay for what you are offering? Because if they are, then boom, happy days, we are on a roll, right? But if they're not, if they're like, or they feel like it's a nice to have, not a must have, then you are going to feel more struggle. It is going to feel like pushing the boulder up the hill and it just keeps rolling back down on you and you're just getting exhausted and burnt out and overwhelmed, right? So they're the four questions, right? What are you really good at? What do you really enjoy? What are you really passionate about? Is there a market need for it? And will people pay for it? And the reality is, I remember doing this course a few years ago, and there was this woman, and this was me in my overthinking stage, right? And going, oh no, what I'm doing is not enough. It needs more. And there was this woman who was on the call with me, and she was doing this VIP day. She was charging $2,000. And the objective or the outcome of this VIP day was she was going to take this person, her client, to the supermarket and they were going to do shopping for 5 key meals like lasagna, chili con carne, whatever it was, right? And I looked at her and I went, is that it? And she went, yeah, because my clients are really struggling and they want to, they want to know how to cook and they don't know how to do this. Like this is a really big thing for them. You're charging $2,000 to do that? I do that every week. I go to do the shopping. I have my menu. I have my mind was blown, right? I shared a recent example in a previous video of how there's a woman in San Francisco who is charging people to name their baby. Packages start at like 1,000, 1,500 and go up to 30,000. Right? So every time you tell yourself that this is not enough and that I need to be doing more, which means that you then step out of your zone of genius in a bid to try and be all things to all people, this is where you dilute your magnetism. This is where you actually dilute your earning potential because you are not staying in your zone of genius. Like, we're not meant to be brilliant at everything, but there are certain things that you are so good at, but in your belief that this is not enough, that people want more from you, that's actually the thing that's blocking you. So the more you can get really anchored into what it is that you do really well, that people want and that are willing to pay for, and you tell yourself, you affirm to yourself that this is enough, then my God, like your earning potential, your business growth potential is untapped. It is infinite, right? But only if you stay in your zone of genius and really focusing on the work that you do so well, and you can do it with your eyes closed. This is what makes you magnetic. This is what gets you well paid. And if you want to know about how I can help you to get to that point, and we do this and very quickly, I am my zone of genius is collapsing those timelines. So you don't have to wait years to do this. This can literally just take days and weeks. That's it, right? If you want to know more, click the link below to book a call and let's have that conversation. All right, my love, I'll see you next time.